Hey guys, I'm Victor and welcome to another episode of Soccer Fan Perspective. I apologize at the moment. I'm kind of recovering from a cold. So again, I apologize if my voice sounds weird or if I sound a little bit nasally. So the US continued their 2018 cycle with a friendly match in Hartford, Connecticut against Ecuador, a game that will be remembered mostly by the last time we saw Landon Donovan suit up for the national team. I'll start with my initial thoughts, then some positives, followed by negatives, followed by a look into the future, and then have the players' individual ratings at the very end of this video. It was a good game by both teams, and while it was disappointing not to send off Landon Donovan with a win, I think the result was the right one. This was a better showing from the South American team, and I was really underwhelmed with their performance in the World Cup because I had high hopes for them to show better than they did. I was impressed by Ener Valencia, the pacey striker who plays for West Ham at the moment, and the right back Juan Carlos Paredes, who had the seamless ability to join into the attack. I was also glad to see Joao Plata from MLS, specifically the Real Salt Lake team, get a shot as well, and he looked very dynamic in what I believe was his second cap for Ecuador. Getting on the scoreboard early, the first few minutes of the game can be crucial as teams are still adapting to the rhythm of the game, and the U.S. took advantage of this with a goal scored through Mikhail Discord with a play that I believe originated from Landon Donovan. Then there were a bunch of players that impressed me, the first being Jose Altidore for his hold-up play and his ability to get his teammates involved in the attack. Not to mention he had a few slicing passes that should have led to goals had the finish been more clinical. Second, Bobby Wood. I thought the kid made a name for himself in this game and in my opinion has earned another call-up. Yes, he needs to work on his finishing and his decision-making, but his ability to show up in dangerous spots should at least earn him enough to get a second look. Third, Greg Garza. As we U.S. fans know, the left back position has been a bit of a problem for the team for as long as I can remember. That being said, I think Greg Garza can be the solution to our woes, and I think at this point, all he needs to do is not be a defensive liability like Jonathan Bornstein or Edgar Castillo, and I think he's got the spot secured. And lastly, Brad Guzan. I'll start by saying that Valencia's shot was a difficult one to save for any keeper, so I don't put any blame on Guzan for it. I think that he's shown very well in his last few games, and when you consider how well he's performed during the World Cup qualifiers when Tim Howard was injured, I think we can all agree that we are in good hands, and when Timmy decides to come back, he will have a tough road to gain that number one spot back. For the negatives, there weren't too many critical ones, so I apologize if some of my reasoning is a little bit too nitpicky. I'll start with the obvious one, which is the Timothy Chandler experiment, and many of you will say that you guys were done with him for a while, and I actually wasn't. I decided to give him a few more games considering he's been playing out of position in the last few friendlies, but now I can officially say I'm done with it, and I think the US should look elsewhere because he's just too much of a liability in the back line. Second, Joe Zhao. I feel bad for the kid as we all were looking to see what he can do in these upcoming friendlies, and he's also been knocking on the door for the Borussia Dortmund senior team due to all the injuries the team has been having. As far as I know, through the tweets, it doesn't seem to be too bad, so I'm hoping this doesn't set back his progress with Dortmund or the national team for too much time. Looking into the future, we are still left wondering what formation Jurgen Klinsmann is going to use for this cycle. Now, some of you may find this useless since it's more about mentality than formation, but nevertheless, I'd like to think that the formation itself tells you a little bit about the mentality of the team. Last game we saw a 4-3-3, which is considered to be a more attacking formation, while in this one we saw a 4-4-2. Now, going beyond the formation, I found it interesting that DeAndre Yedlin was placed in the midfield. What would instantly go through people's mind is that Klinsmann wanted to use Yedlin's pace in a more advanced position, and it worked as we saw Yedlin get more involved in the attack more often since he had less defensive responsibilities. What some of you may have not noticed initially is that this could also have been used to cover up Timothy Chandler. While I don't want Yedlin particularly to be converted into a winger, for obvious reasons, that one being that the U.S. is already packed in the midfield and his pace would be better suited from the right back position in my opinion. I feel that either him or Fabian Johnson in the long run will be put higher up in the field. Lastly, Joe Corona. Since he came into the fold, I was really excited about him and seeing what this kid can do. He's very good on the ball, as we've obviously seen, and has shown a lot of promise. But I do wonder about two things. One, does he fit in this Jurgen Klinsmann system? If it's a 4-3-3, which I believe is what his goal is, then I don't think so. But who knows? Then second, is he the new Jose Torres? And by that I mean, is his style of play suited for CONCACAF teams and maybe CONMEBOL teams as well? But when he faces European teams or any opponent from the different confederations, will he underperform? That's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. What did you think about the game? Who impressed you and who unimpressed you? Leave your thoughts in the comments section down below and follow the show on Twitter at SFP Soccer Show to stay updated. So until next time, guys. See you all later.